Alright, here we go, guys. This should look familiar to some of you, if not most of you. This is Squad Leader. I don't know if I want to call it Advanced Squad Leader because there are things I will elect not to do, most likely, that should be done to be considered full-blown ASL. Why would I do that? Well, it speeds things along, but also it makes it more easier to manage. And I should add, with these videos that I'm doing, these are not instructional how-to videos. I stumble over the rules and I make mistakes and I play them incorrectly. So this is not a teaching, tutorial, instructional thing. If something I'm doing interests you enough, you should take it upon yourself to read the rules and learn it accordingly so that you will play it the way it's supposed to be played, not the way I play it, because again, I don't know that I'm doing these things correctly all the time. Now, with this, one of my, probably the love of my life, I first discovered this in bona fide squad leader form many years ago. Played the heck out of that until I decided I'll try the ASL thing and had fun with that. The past few years I've played it a little less and less, although it is still a passion of mine. What else? I also have the starter kits, but I guess what I'm getting at, and we'll get to the gameplay here shortly, is for those of you that hear the acronym ASL or Advanced Squad Leader, and you think, oh yeah, no, I can't do it. Not for me. Too involved. Too much. Let's set something straight here. It is involved, but it's involved in a good way. But also, you have to realize, just because something is presented in a certain way doesn't mean you have to accept it in the way it was presented. For some of you, that's heresy, I understand. But more specifically, you can learn as much or as little as you want to and still play this game. So for instance, as you watch me play through this, I'm still kind of, as usual, deciding in my head what I'm going to do and not do. I'm not going to mess with snipers. Again, heresy, whatever. But by way of example, you can bite off as much or as little as you want and still play the thing. And, you don't have to know every single numbered rule in this book to play and enjoy this thing. I think this, and especially the binder, when people see the binder, plural, binders, they're like, no way am I going to try that. And it puts people off. But again, there's a certain amount in here that you need to grasp the essentials, and you can play the thing. And if you are more comfortable as you graduate and mature along with the game and evolve, you're free to add on as much as you want to add on to the full extent of the law. But that said, my point in bringing this up is a lot of you, I think, are missing out because you're under the misperception that it's just too much. Well, it's as much as you want it to be honest with you. And for those out there that want to gripe at you or say you're not playing it right because you're not playing full-blown, don't worry about what they're saying. You're not playing for them. You're playing for yourself. Those people that have stuff to say like that, they need to get playing their own games and maybe a little less criticizing other people for trying to play. So don't worry about what they have to say. I understand the ASL community can be intimidating, but it's not. Again, same with the board game hobby. It is a community full of helpful, nice, wonderful folks. Maybe a little sarcasm here and there, but good folks. So again, the way I play this, I'm not going to mess with snipers. I'm still deciding as we speak whether or not to mess with fire lanes and residual firepower. And again, there are those out there that will say, well, if you don't do that, you're not playing ASL. Well, then what am I playing? I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing what I enjoy. How about that? All right, so got the preliminaries out of the way, the prerequisites. I should also add that, again, by way of another disclaimer, I don't play this every day, so There's some rust that's going to fall off onto the game board. Game board. Let's move to that. I constructed this. This is a half of board 1. The classic board 1. I called in sick to work one day many years ago and spent the entire day building this. Now I had a printer then, and I just printed off one enlarged version of the map. I think it's 8.5 by 11 sheets. And then I got some of the black thin foam board, and anything that would be raised level-wise, I cut it out with an X-Acto, and then cut out the same outline for the foam, and just placed the picture on top of the foam. I've got 3 layers for multi hex buildings. Well, that is to say the 3 or more hex buildings. Now the wood buildings are only 1 or 2 layers high, depending. I've got 1 layer of foam board for the woods here, and that's pretty much it. I always wanted to do the other half of this board. Didn't get around to it, and now I don't know that I ever will, because I don't have that funky printer anymore that I used to print this out. And I'll be honest with you, each printer has its own style, its own idiosyncrasies. And I think any other printer that I would use to print this out, I wouldn't get a match on the colors and tones. I mean, I guess you could match it in Photoshop or something, but I'm not doing that. That's beyond my capabilities. So not having that printer anymore has put a wrench in things as far as building the other half, but I did have the intention of doing so. Alright, so this is the guards counterattack, and this is a great scenario, again, for those of you that are just hopping into this. This is the scenario most of us started out with. This is the scenario that broke the ice and caused us to fall in love with the game. Why is that? Why is this scenario such a big deal? Is it because it's the first one? No. The situation is such that it really draws you in. It's captivating. It is edge of your seat stuff. And I'll go ahead and read the preliminary for the scenario. Now here's also what makes Squad Leader, or ASL, such a neat thing, is you have these little historical preambles, if you will, followed by what happened historically. I'm not seeing that here. But this is Stalingrad, Russia, October 6, 1942. And after an extremely successful summer campaign, the Germans came upon the Volga fortress of Stalingrad. Here the Red Army had dug in and was determined to make a stand. Sensing total victory, the Germans threw more and ever more troops into the fighting, but for the first time in the war, German infantry found the Russians their equal. Rebuffed by stiff resistance, the Germans committed crack assault engineers. Gradually, the Germans cleared one block, then another, only to lose them again to sudden Russian counterattacks. By October 5th, the Germans had almost taken the key Dzerzhinsky tractor works. However, the fighting had been so heavy that the line troops occupying the surrounding area were exceptionally weak from the previous week's combat. At that point, the Russians counterattacked with their crack 37th Guards to break the ring the Germans had thrown around the factory and reinforce the desperate defenders. Victory conditions are as such. To win, the Soviet player must completely occupy 2 more of the stone buildings initially occupied by the German player. Then he loses of his own initially held stone buildings to German occupation. And I have marked those with some counters from the Fighting Formations Großdeutschland game. So any stone building that is a potential victory cause for the Russians, I've marked. It's currently under German control. And we also have, of course, the other way to win is have a favorable 3-to-1 ratio, Russian to German, that is, of unbroken squads or their equivalent at the conclusion of play. The German player wins by avoiding these Soviet victory conditions. This is 5 turns. I've got these handy-dandy little show-off things I made back in the day. These are Just something I did. Cards, turn cards. I do this stuff because I find it fun. I also have phase cards. So not required for this. This information can be recorded on the scenario sheet, which will also tell you what you need and where to set up. And I like, some people probably don't, but I like that it tells you what to set up. It feels more official, more historical, more, I don't know. The free setup has its merits, but personally I prefer something that tells you where to set up. That also leads me to believe it was probably better play tested, if that's the case. Kind of hard to argue with that. Special rules, bottom of the scenario. Environmental conditions are moderate with no wind at start. Yeah, I don't feel any wind. And any unit in the upper floor. Oh, here's another thing I meant to add. You got to deal with that. When I was saying what I will and potentially won't mess with this time around, I made Chuck dealing with multi-level floors. Or I may not. I'm a strange guy. Any unit in the upper floor of a building whose path of egress is blocked by good order enemy multi-man counters is encircled. Such encirclement occurs the instant the path is blocked and is removed the instant there fails to be a good order enemy multi-man counter blocking the exit path. If a unit is encircled by fire as well as having its egress path blocked, there are no additional penalties other than the fact that encirclement can only be removed by having both an exit and meeting the conditions of a 7.7. Finally, in this scenario, units may set up anywhere within the designated building. So there's kind of a free setup, but then it's kind of not. It tells you what building is set up in anyway. So you get the best of both worlds there. All right, so potential things, again, to recap. Potential things I will most likely not mess with for various reasons. Time, etc. Fire lanes and residual firepower may or may not mess with those. Snipers, definitely not messing with that. And multi-level floors. Now, there's no armor in here, so that is to my liking as well. Let's see what we can do. And the Germans attack first. Russians move. Oh, I'm sorry. Germans set up first. The Russians move first. So the Russians will go first. Starting with the rally phase, and here we go. And I will, again, as usual, pause as needed so you guys don't have to wait while I look things up. I guarantee that will be happening. My need to look things up. But now at, what's the time? 13 minutes in. We're hopping in. I'm going to timestamp that below this video so people can jump ahead. All right, so rally phase, right? But nothing to rally. Anything else happen in the rally phase? No reinforcements. I'm not checking for wind change. Oh yeah, you can deploy. Not sure I'm going to mess with that either. Deploy just means you can split up squads to half squads. And recombine, which is the opposite of deploy. Attempt to recover support weapons, that's not in play. Repair support weapons, we have no broken, so that's not in play. And some other things that will not apply at this particular moment. So rally phase is over. That brings us to the prep fire phase. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. We have a single Russian squad here, 447 in a wood building. We've got 3 Russian squads, 447 squads in a stone building here. 447 Russian squad with a 9-1 leader, that's -1, with a medium machine gun in this stone building here. This stone building here consists of 4 447 squads and a 9-0 leader. This building here has a whole gang of stuff. We've got 3 squads to each hex, and these are all 628 squads, so heavy firepower but low range. And high morale with a single 10-2 leader, which is a badass. And for the Germans, we're looking at, and I should add that for those of you that didn't notice, the Russians have one support weapon, that's it, which will come into play as the game goes on, because if you look at the Germans, they have, for instance, a heavy machine gun here, a light machine gun here, a medium machine gun here, light machine gun, light machine gun, light machine gun, a light machine gun, so heavily supplied with support weapons, as the Germans were wont to do. This stone building here consists of a 447 squad with a light machine gun, a 467 squad, and a 9-1 leader with next to a 467 squad. This building here in the center, 467 squad with a light machine gun, 467 squad also with a light machine gun, 467 squad with an 8-0 leader. This little building here has a party going on in it with a 3 467 squads, a 9-2 leader, and a light machine gun all packed in that little shed. And then this building here, 467 squad with a medium machine gun and an 8-1 leader with a 2 467 squads and a light machine gun. Finally, this heavy machine gun down here that I mentioned is being manned by a 467 squad, and they're hanging out with an 8-1 leader. That's the breakdown. Let's do this. Leroy! Alright, so who do I want to prep fire? Some cannot prep fire. Some are not worth prep firing. The whole shtick here for the Russians is to move. It is the Germans that can afford to just sit back. The Russians cannot, or they will not win this thing. Well, that said, let's see how much movement I actually do. So this guy will not be able to prep fire because he's got his line of sight blocked. These guys could if they wanted to, as these guys are in range, as are these, I believe, yeah. These guys could prep fire. Now here's the other thing to consider. There's no point in just hopping right into it if you're the Russians. You want to maybe try and, there's a balance, right? You don't want to do too much of one or the other, but you want to maybe try and break or pin, or if possible, eliminate as much German stuff as you can before rushing out into the open. A lot of into the open that will need to be happening. And I should also add, you can do a dash. So for instance, if I could knock these guys out here, I could do a dash into this building. But anyway, so what do I start with? Decisions. Let's start easy. Let's start over here, and we'll work our way over from right to left. We do have group fire as well, and again, decisions to be taken into account. Do you group fire all these guys? If you do, you need to fire at the same target, unless I'm forgetting something. Or do you just simply allow these guys to fire here, and these guys to fire here, which is what I typically do, although in hindsight I wonder if combining more of a punch into one blow against a single hex, is that the way to go? Yeah, maybe not. Let's just go ahead and start. We've got 447, two 447s, that becomes an 8. I'm going to go ahead and stack these, even though I have room enough that I don't need to. It allows for recording information purposes to function better. So that is an 8, and we are firing. Let's go ahead and fire at this hex here. No modifiers for the leader because he has a 0 modifier. We will have modifiers for the stone building, which is 3. God, I'm rusty. Let's see here. Yeah, 3. And we have to take into account that cowering is a possibility because, no, it's not. It's leader directed, so we don't have to worry about cowering. All right. Found the 8 column. Let's roll and add 3. No rate of fire to consider because there's no support weapon. We rolled a 7, which is typical. If you roll anything with 2d6, it's going to be a 7 if nothing else. But you're going to add 3, right? So 8, 9, 10. We got a dash. We're shooting dashes. Nothing. They are prep fired. Let's go ahead and stack him as well. I don't know if using the tweezers is viable at this point. Probably. So that accomplished nothing. Now, had that accomplished something, I might have felt more obliged to move these guys adjacent, but as nothing happened, let's go ahead and fire them. See if they can get anything going here. Mark them with a prep fire marker. And broken record here, as usual, won't be playing all this on camera. May not play all this off camera, but we'll play some of this. Rolled a 4 on that one. That's a bit better. And we had a 3 to a 4. What do you get? You get a 7. That is a +1 morale check on these guys, which is who he was firing at. So, start with a leader. +1 morale check. He has a morale of 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. Seriously? And then +1 morale check for these guys. 4, 5, 6. They passed, but they do need to do a leader. Is it leader lost? See, I got to look this up. The leader's just broken. He's not eliminated, so I don't remember if a leader lost check applies. So I'll come right back. Okay, so leader loss applies if the leader's literally lost, eliminated, and he was not. He was just broken, so he doesn't need to do a leader loss check. That brings us to these guys who want to move, but this isn't the movement phase. These guys, look, yeah, let's fire with these guys to try and clear this hex here, and then potentially, or should I fire with them and move with them? Because he's got a medium machine gun that he's going to have to drag along with him. Let's do that. Let's fire with this. Another 8, because it's 4 for the medium machine gun and 4 for the squad. Ooh, we get a -1 modifier for the leader, and we need to remember our rate of fire for a medium machine gun. So let's roll it up. Who are they firing at? They're firing at this K4 hex right there. Terrible roll. We rolled a 9. That would become an 11. Well, 9 was nothing anyway. So just more bad rolls for the Russians. So, again, since that accomplished nothing, I'm going to go ahead and fire rather than move with those guys and try and do something here. A little bit better odds this time around because now we have 3 squads firing, and that will be... we did not keep our rate of fire. So that machine gun gets prep fired as well. 12. And adding 3. That's a 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a pin task check, which is a wannabe morale check. Alright, fine, pin task check. 7 or less, he's fine. I don't think the Russians have done a thing. No, they broke that leader. They broke that leader. That's all they've managed to do, though. You should hear the cat getting louder and louder as we round out the 5 o'clock hour, which is our dinner time. Alright, that brings us to this packed building full of stuff. Now, these guys have line of sight to... well, actually, this building's taller than this wood building, so they would have line of sight to this, but it wouldn't be in range, so that's out. So we'll let them move on the movement phase. Let's start with these guys. Yeah, let's start with these guys. And because they, have a firepower of 6, and there's 3 of them, that's right, 18 firepower. Coming at you with full effect. 18, there is no 18, that drops us down to 16. Add 3 for the stone building. Come on, low roll 5. Brings us to 8. That's a +1 morale check for that guy. So he needs a 7 or less, but he failed it. So he rolled an 8, add 1 to that, that's 9. He only has a morale 7. He is broken. However, No, he's fine. So there's that. All right, so he's broken. Same thing here. Let's go 18 because it's 3 6 2 8 squads. 18 firepower factors coming at this guy with the light machine gun here. Let's roll for that. No 18 column again, so we roll on the 16 column. We will have that +3 stone building modifier. Terrible roll. As a 9, add 3 equals 12. That's nothing. I'm reluctant to run out here yet until I can do a little more damage. So it looks like it's going to be a prep fire kind of opening round for the Russians. And one more time, 16 firepower factors because there's no 18 column. Adding 3 for the stone building. Trying to knock out that 447 German squad with a light machine gun. Gets a 7, that's a little better, brings that up to a 10, and that is a normal morale check. I'll take it. 7 or less, we're good. He rolled a 6, and he's good. That's the end of that. The Russians broke a leader and broke a squad, and that was embarrassing if you're a fan of the Russians. That brings us to the movement phase. Among other things. Let's see. So this guy here can move into the woods. Why would he do that? Well, because he has no line of sight to anything. And he wants to potentially move into this building, so he's setting the table for himself, as it were. So he moves there. Now, because he moved there, I can defensive first fire, right, with this guy here. I could probably group fire. Could I not? I don't see why not. I mean, it's in the line. It's in line of sight and range. I don't even know why I'm checking. Now that I checked, I have to fire it. Let's do it. I'm doing it. 8. Then you got 3. So that's 11, but there's no 11, so it stays at 8. Ready to fire 1 on the light machine gun. Got this 7. Put the woods at a +2. No, add a +1, so that's an 8. Which is a normal morale check for that guy. And wow. Wow. Not only did he break, he rolled a 12. Certain numbers on the dice rolls during certain times should trigger, hey, wait a minute. 2s do that, doubles do that, 12s do that. Let me pause this and see if 12 has anything on morale check fail. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is a rally, not a morale check. If that was a rally, he would have suffered casualty reduction. So I had the right inclination, but it was at the wrong time. The rate of fire? Rate of fire was lost. Now we marked these guys with this being first fire. Now he did expend 2 movement factors to enter that hex. 1, 2. So in theory, could we not fire again at him? He is not further away than any other, what am I trying to say? He's equal to or as close as the closest known unit. You know what I'm trying to say. So he qualifies there. Let me check that. 1 second. So I have the option to do so if I like to fire again, because he did expend more than 1 movement factor to enter that hex. I also forgot my first fire non-assault move, but he broke him anyway. So there was 1 mistake. Keep count. Ready? I forgot to add the first fire No, I guess he did assault move. Yeah. So that's not in play. All right, and it's not in the open, so there's no first fire movement in the open. Things to remember. So let's go ahead and do a subsequent first fire. And this time around it'll be where before it was 8, 9, 10, 11 firepower factors. You divide that in half, 5 and a half. There's no 5, drops to 4. For area fire, you're going to add 1. Is that what it is for the woods? And we marked them with final fire. Wow, that's nothing. Rolled a 12. So not only did they cower, well, these guys wouldn't have cowered. That's nothing. So it was a waste of time anyway. Who else wants to move? Who can move? These guys here can. Let's say they want to move. Now, were I playing this correctly, you'd have to factor in, assuming they're on the top level, you would have to factor in each one movement factor for each level they move down the stairs. For sake of simplicity, let's assume they're already on the ground floor. Moving into here, that is still considered an assault move into that wood building there. A leader goes with him. Or no. Let's leave the leader there. And so that is considered a assault move. It's not in the open, so I don't get any bonuses if I fire at them with this guy here, or who else could fire? These guys could fire, could they not? And these guys, now they have to because I'm measuring with the thing. That's the rule, right? Oh, crap. Do these guys have... Oh, wow, I think these guys just have it. This is probably not the... I should probably have a map, an official map of this setup, because I guarantee you this isn't line of sight wise exact like an official map would be, since I've done what I've done here, but it's close. Okay, so I got a number of folks that can do some fire here. Let's go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So these guys here could only fire 1, 2, 3. First fire. You got 10 minutes, and then I'll feed you. Promise. I won't forget. Do I ever forget? I forget things, but I never forget to feed you. I'm not going to start. What are you doing, Jay? Here's what I'm doing. I'm first firing these guys at the folks that just moved here. Now I won't be able to subsequent fire because they're farther away than the closest known group. But so there's a 4 and a 4 with a light machine gun. That makes 8, 9, 10, 11. Remembering rate of fire. No, 11 calm drops down to 8. We get a -1 for the leader. Roll a 9. Comes an 8. That's a normal morale check for each of those guys. 8 or less should be no problem for them. There's an 8, so yeah, no problem for him. 6, 7, 8, no problem for him. 6, 7, no problem for them. Even with those high rolls, that high morale of theirs helped them out. Now we have this guy can first fire and subsequent first fire. He's got a firepower 7 because it's a inherent firepower 4 plus light machine gun makes 7. There is no 7 column. Drops us down to 6. Add 2 for the wood building. What do we get for our troubles? 8, 9, 10. We get nothing for our troubles. You get nothing. So let's do it again, but we'll cut it in half. That 6 becomes a 3, but there is no 3. It drops down to a 2. We did not get rate of fire. And we have nothing. Rolled a 9. Alright, so why is the screen flashing? He's done. And then, as I said, we could fire with these guys, did I not? Because they just have, they've got sight. They've got sight. It's not that they don't. They do. So 12, 15. Wow, watch this. No 15 column, so it drops down to 12 again. That sucks. -2 leader directed fire will not cower, and that -2 will negate the +2 of the wood building. So it's just what we roll. Would have cowered, but it's leader directed. We rolled a 10, which is a pin task check. I don't know if this is worth even going through. Closest known, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can subsequent first fire again. A pin task check is what we're doing. We got a 7, he's fine. Again, with this high morale of these guys. An 8, he's fine. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did pin one of those buggers. What's a bugger? You English and your, you English folk and your slang. Isn't bugger a bad word? So if I say bugger off, isn't that like explicit? I'd be censored on TV, right? What about bloody? What about bugger off, you bloody sod? Is that appropriate for like church and funerals and things? Probably not. All right, where are we at? We can subsequent, right? Or can we not? And I forgot about rate of fire again. So, if we do that, it drops down to 6. And what do we get? We get nothing, basically. We rolled a 9. That's not enough. It's not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay, all right. So that is the movement phase, and that brings us to defensive fire. Who can defensive fire? Number of folks can defensive fire. Now none of those, not that there was any that occurred, but first fire non-assault move or first fire move in the open, none of that will apply in the defensive fire phase, so those opportunities are gone. Alright, German defensive. So if you're marked with a first fire counter, defensive fire phase, the portion of defensive fire that occurs strictly during defensive fire is called final fire. During final fire. Alright. Sorry, distracted. Who can defensive fire? Well, these guys don't have line of sight to anything, and I don't want to check because then I have to take the shot. But I'm pretty sure. I take that back. I think they do. Yes, they do. They most certainly do. So we'll start with these guys. Are they within range? Yes. Leader directed fire, yes. With a -1 bonus, going to drop that to a -2. With a heavy machine gun, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No 11 column drops down. Just missed the 12 column. Drops us down to an 8. It's an 8, little lady. What do you think of that? We rolled 7, add 2 is 9. Another stupid pin task check. I hate these. It just seems like a waste. Alright, each feller here is going to roll for a pin task check. He's fine. 6, 7, 8. Whoops, he's not. And he's not. So pinned both those guys. Not sure what difference it's going to make. Alright, let's fire with these 8, 9, 10, 11. No 11 drops down to 8 again. No leader directed fire, and add 3 for the stone building. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is nothing. Let's move here. Medium machine gun and a squad. That's 9. Drops down to 8. Add 3. Cowers, because the leader's broken. Roll a 6. But you add 3, so that's 9, and that's nothing. No. Yeah, well, that's it. So that's the end of the defensive fire phase. Now we have advancing fire, so for those that moved, they can fire with area fire. Well, the only ones that qualify for that, no, so that guy can't. We do have 6 firepower factors going into here, adding +3. Cowers drops to a 4. Go to the 4. We got add 3, 7. Wow, a pin task check. How exciting. Well, just what I always wanted. So that guy's pinned. That's real edge of your seat, nail biting, pin task checks. Just take the cake. Advancing fire is done. That brings us to the route phase. Who was broken? Who needs to route? Okay, this guy's fine where he's at. This guy's fine where he's at. End of route phase. That brings us to the advance phase. Soviet player may advance 1 hex if he so desires. Doing so, anywhere I can advance 1 hex into, though, puts me in the open. And I just have to sit there through the German turn, so that's ridiculous. I will advance him, though. I'll advance that leader to join that stack, and I take it back. I'll put him here. Do you know what I should have done instead of moving him here during the movement phase and getting broken? Just waited and advanced him in the advance phase. See, stuff like that. That's done. Anything else? No. That brings us to close combat. There is none. And then finally, that's it. And it starts over again. Alright, rally phase, advance phase, route, advancing fire, defensive fire, rapid fire, route. Make sure I got these cards in order. That is the end of the Soviet turn. Brings us to the rally phase, and is the start of the Germans' turn. So fire. Why am I missing a card here? How am I missing a card here? I'm missing a movement phase card. I've lost my mind. No, I put it under here. Did I? Yeah. Say, what the hey, who's going on? You kids are playing jokes on your old father. He doesn't have the patience anymore for that stuff. Okay, I think we're good now. Let me pause and do some cleanup. Alright, gang. Let me get these off of here. Don't the pin markers come off at the end of the... Is it the end of the round or turn? They don't stay. You can't rally out of a pin. Oh, crap. I gotta look that up. Put these right here. Pin marker. When do the pin markers come off? Alright, I'll be back. Okay, yes, the pin markers come off at this point. Useless pin markers. Let's see. I've heard somebody say ASL's a great game, but the squads move like gazelles. That's true. They do move like gazelles. Do you realize you could move 9 hexes on a road if you're with a leader and you critically exhaust? Isn't that crazy? That's like if you had a road that went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like halfway across. Anyway, German turn. What's the situation? The only situation that, by way of development, is this guy's broken, needs to rally. This guy's broken, needs to rally, and this leader's broken, needs to rally. Now, I think the attacking side can self-rally one squad. Let's start with this leader here. 8 or less. And he did not do it. Not good enough. And let me verify that on the self-rally. Alright, anybody with a box morale can self-rally. Otherwise, the attacker only can self-rally one multi-man counter without a leader. That'll be this guy here. He needs a 7 or less. He gets an 8. Good job. Good job, guy. Keep up the good work there with that self-rally. You're doing yourself proud and your fellow service members. Alright. Where are we at now? Oh yeah, the Germans. So rallying is done. I didn't elect to use any smoke last turn, but nobody really needed to. Nobody had to move in the open. Not sure how I feel about smoke. How often did smoke really get used? I mean, don't you just draw more attention to yourself by using smoke? I don't know. So anyway, Germans' turn, and as I stated earlier, really not in their interest unless to consolidate, to move. They're fine where they are, just hanging out, hunkering down. That's what we'll continue to do. And I'm going to go ahead and group fire these two hexes here. 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no 11, drops to an 8. Add 3 minus 1 is 2 plus 2. Oh, Jesus, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's ridiculous. I'm even using my trusty purple die here. My trusty purple die. It's not doing it. It's not cutting it. These guys can prep fire. Can they not? They can. They can do it. I triple dog dare you. 12, 15. Just missed that 16, so it drops to a 12. Add. No, cancels out the wood building. Everybody's in range, right? Remember rate of fire. Boom. 4. Ooh, look at that roll, low roller. It's a +3 morale check. Read it and weep. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 broken. Next. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 not broken. And 7, 8, 9, 10 is broken. So broke 2 of the 3 squads. Kablooey. Ooh, let me pause and check something real quick and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What else do we have? Let's go. Let's try and wreak some more havoc with these guys. At that little wooden building with the 2 squads that just broke. 7 drops down to 6. Adding 2. Oh, nothing. Got a 10. Moving right along. Let's see. Same deal. Do we want to fire? Yeah, let's fire here. He's got that. No, let's fire here. Lower modifier because he's in that wood building. What does he get? 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a normal morale check now. Here's what's the deal. We'll roll for this guy who fails. And then we'll roll again for these guys. And I forget what happens. He passed anyway. And this guy did not. So I need the desperation morale them. I know that. So when you're broken and you fail another morale check, do you casualty reduce? Or am I mistaken? I'm probably mistaken. But I need to refresh my memory and look that up. So we'll be right back. And welcome back. So yes, a squad that is broken, that breaks again, fails its morale check, is casualty reduced, so a 628 becomes a half squad, which is... Half squad is a 328. I need to find a 328. So this is squad leader's idea of step losses, casualty reduction. I like it. I don't have a problem with it. Some games are all or nothing. 327. 227. There it is, 328. These little Plano boxes. I mean, there's so many ways you can store your counters, but these thin, I mean, they're thin, real thin. There's my finger. Plano boxes are just the best. I've tried different things, different methods. And like I said, there will always continually be new ways to store your counters, but those thin Plano boxes, they just take the cake. So there's our first casualties. The Germans knocked out half of Russian 628 squad there. Not a whole lot going on action-wise, but I expect things will heat up before too long. Moving from right to left to right, we did that with this, right? Because we did that with this. Yeah, we did that with that. So I need to mark them with prep fire. Boom. All right, now we have just 4 firepower factors going into 1, 2, 1, 2. We have to go here if we're going to fire. Well, that's terrible odds. Add 3, we get, well, does not cower because it's leader directed. Otherwise, I would have cowered. It's a 7. Ooh, guess what? Your favorite, folks. A pin task check. Hold on to your hats. Pin task checks all the way around for everybody. He passes. And he does not. He is officially pinned. Pin it. I hate pin it. I hate Reddit. No, I don't hate any of those things really. All right, mark him prep fired. He is prep fired. And then let's prep fire these folks down here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. As usual, there's no 11 columns. Drops to an 8. Leader directed. With a -1, that brings it to a total modifier of +2. 8, 9, 10 is nothing. Good job. And then we have, we can group fire. Let's group fire into here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17. 20. Now, I may be doing this wrong because I have a broken leader here. I'm still firing. I have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. +1 morale check. But I'll verify that in a second. +1 morale check is what we got. 4, 5, 6. He's fine. I think that's a pin marker from, from earlier that I forgot to remove. He's fine, and finally he's fine. I'd like to brag on the cat today. She caught a lizard that made its way into the house. I don't know how the hell a whole lizard makes its way into my house, but this isn't the first time. And she made quick work of that lizard. Didn't kill it, as cats, I don't know what their deal with that is. They'll play with it, bat it around, throw it in the air. I guess they like playing, I don't know. So I had to rescue the damn thing and put it back outside, which will probably find its way back into the house, and we'll go through all of this all over again. Such is the cycle of life, at least at this household. Prep fire. So prep fire is done. Running my mouth is not done. What's next? Funny you should ask. Movement phase. The Germans content with where they're at, so no movement. Defensive fire, yes. There will be defensive fire. Don't you think there won't? There's going to be hell to pay for all this stuff that's just happened. The resentment that is building up within the Russian ranks is unprecedented at this point. Let's go 8. Let's go with this. Let's do this way. Got an 8 coming. So there's no movement. This defensive stuff should go pretty quick. What did I say? 8? Yes, pay attention. 8 and add 3. Ooh, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is a normal morale check. Not bad, not bad. 7 or less? Yes, he can. And his esteemed associate can do it as well. So, nice try, but not good enough. Then we have, for 6 firepower factors, coming here, again, adding plus 3. 9, 10, 11, 12. That's the zilch. That guy's broken all over the place. We do have these guys consisting of 12 firepower factors unloading into here with a plus 3 terrain effects modifier. Leaves 8, 9, 10, 11. We just missed a pentast check. Are you kidding me? The humanity. And then we have this guy with the medium machine gun for 8. -1 makes plus 2. 8 plus 2 results in 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, plus 1 morale check. I gotta stand up for this. Plus 1 morale check. So we need a 7 or less. Add 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. He failed. He's broken. See how that works? And that brings us here. What do we have here? 6, 6, 6 is the sign of the 18 firepower factors, not an 18 column, so we drop to 16. Adding 3. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Normal morale checks, that's all. Just a normal morale check. 7 or less. He pulled that off with flying colors, and same deal here, but -2 leader directed fire results in only a plus 1 terrain effects modifier. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a plus 1 morale check here. It's only a 5 though, so that does nothing. And finally the same deal there, but 16, let's see. Cowering possibilities and effect does not happen. 8, 9, 10, 11. That is a pentast check. And he is pinned. God, I'm not sure these pentast checks are necessary for the game. I guess they are. They never really seem to accomplish much. Boom. Alright, defensive fire done. Now, advancing fire. Nobody moved. They all prep fired. Thus, no advancing fire. Route. Nobody needs to route because anybody that is broken just right, just fine where they are. And then advance. Well, there will be some advancement because I have a broken... Let's clean the house first. Let's get rid of these and those. And that, and this. Don't forget that thing. But wait, there's more. If you call now, you can remove this, and that, and this guy. And we'll even add this, and that. Almost there. This guy. This guy. So the Russians, I think it's time to go crazy, folks. No more of this playing it safe. Trying to knock out some Germans before you move. The time is of the essence. And turn 2 on tap. after we advance. Let's see, this guy, this leader here is going to advance there so he can help rally that feller. And same with this, he will advance to help rally that feller. That guy needs to help himself. I think that's it for the advance. That's all the advancement you get. No more for you. Advance, no close combat, so that's that. Alright. It's been an hour, but I spent 15 minutes of it talking, and I feel like I owe you guys another round. Let's do round 2. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Come on. Get back in here. Close combat, advance, route. Let's see if I got these in order. I do not. So it should be rally. Prep fire. Move. Offensive fire. Advance. Advancing fire. Route. Close combat. Let me make sure I got that right. These stupid cards are probably more trouble than they're worth. Oh! Prep fire. Let's see. Rally prep. That's what I got. Rally prep. Move. Yep. Defensive fire. Yep. And advance. Advancing fire. Yep. Advance. Advancing fire. Route. Then advance. Then close combat. Okay. Round 2. We go back to the Russians, who have some rallying they need to do. I have to do the Germans. Let's start with the Germans, actually, with this rallying business. This guy's going to need a 7 or less. Doesn't he get a bonus for being in a building to try and rally? Did I dream this? Let me pause and check that. He dreamed it not. If you're in a woods or a building, you get a -1 to your die roll when you try to rally. So he gets a -2. 7 or less, -2 is, we rolled an 8, so he's back. Back in the saddle again. I hate Aerosmith. Then we go 7 or less, -1. Ooh, he got it anyway, but even without the bonus. He didn't need it. He just laughed. Let's see if this leader can self-rally. This is getting ridiculous. He does. All previously broken German squads and leaders are now back. As the Russians are the attacker, they can self-rally one guy. Let's try and self-rally him. He did not self-rally. Nobody else can try to rally because there's no leaders for them to do so. That brings us to prepping fire. Now, prep fire, like I said, I think it's time to not be so conservative, but this could backfire. So let's think about this a second. Oh. It's just suicide to run in the open unless something... This guy hadn't rallied, or whoever, this guy, I know what I said, I'm just not comfortable doing this yet. You know what? We're group firing into here. I've had it. It's 18. Plus another 18. That's 36. It is? Wow. And we're doing something. Something's happening. I don't give a crap. Just like I said, he's gone. That's a 4 KIA. Flat out gone. But it took 6 squads to do that. Alright. Whatever. It's probably what I should have done the last round too. So what I want to do is move with this stack into here. They're going to dash. Mrs. Dash. These are all screwed up. They can't do a thing. This guy is going to fire with 4, 8. That brings it to +2 total modifier. 8 plus 2. That is 9, 10, 11. That's nothing. And this guy here. What does he have? That's 12. Can he do that? Yeah. If you ask nicely, he can do that. 12 coming into, what are you doing? I'm firing into here, adding 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, and getting nothing. That's what I'm doing. Finally, this building here, I can't move. There's just too much to fire at them moving in the open. I gotta do something. Speaking of which, let's group fire. So 8 and 8 is 16. Firing here. Ooh. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 2 morale check. Leader first. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He broke again. He just rallied. For the love of... he's broken too. And now I have nobody to move. So I finally get a result and I got nobody to move. Because I used everybody to fire and get that result. You see what happens? You see? Where are we at now? Prep fire's over. Prep fire's closed. Movement phase is open. I'm going to dash. Let me pause and make sure I do this correctly. Alright, it's my understanding this dash will be halved as area fire, but the first fire non-assault move and first fire movement in the open still apply. Whatever, that's fine. And I've also decided I'm not moving all 3 squads and getting lit up. I'm just doing 1, and that's how it goes. So here's the thing. Can you group fire? Sure you can. So that would be 8, right? But it's halved to 4. However, it's point blank fire, so it goes back to 8. Plus, this is why this is stupid on my part. Plus, you've got first fire movement in the open and first fire non-assault move, so that's -2. Roll a 12, so we... I don't know if he cowers or not. I have a leader in 1 hex and a leader not in the other hex. Well, 12 and -2 is a 10. So even if he doesn't cower, the result is still the same. Nothing. Can you believe that? Because that 12 would drop to a 10 for the non-assault movement in the open, but a 10 where we currently stand is nothing, and even if we did cower, that would be nothing either. So he's good to go there. Let's mark them with first fire. Not done though. Not done by a long shot. We have this group here. He has to survive the fire from. That is 7 firepower factors dropping down to 6. Well, 3.5 because he's dashing. There's no 3.5, so it drops to 2. But we still get that -2 modifier, and that's 9, 7, nothing. Wow, he's getting lucky. He's getting lucky there, that little feller. And then he rolls right in, right? Did I do this right? Yeah. 1, 2, he rolls right in here. Now, turn him upside down to represent having moved. He can subsequent... He cannot. 1, 2, 1, 2. He can, and he can. They can subsequent first fire. Which is also half. Right? Hold on. Judge's ruling that on that is, yeah, it'll be halved again. I was just thrown off by firing with a halved to begin with. So, even if we group fired, it would be only a 4. Look, 2. Point blank fire is 4. 6. Math. Oh, what a terrible result. 9. That's nothing. Now he could, what is it called? Final protective fire, but then you risk breaking. I don't know if I want to do that. Do I? Let me check this to see if I want to do this or not. I'm not doing that because I don't want that die roll to be a morale check against myself, which is what this final protective fire would be. So lucky you made it to the building. Any other movement? It's just a movement phase, right? I think that's it. I chickened out with these two guys. Although I should have just did it. Played it safe. Defensive fire. Let's start over here and work our way that way. Defensive fire. What do we have? We have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Drops down to 8. Come in here. Add 2. We get 9, 10, 11. That's nothing. Okay, whatever. 8, 9, 10, 11 here. Dumping into here. Drops to an 8. And we add 3. Could possibly cower. No cowering. 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 11. No result though. These guys are whacked out so they can't do anything. Let's group fire here into here. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. Drops to 8 again. Add 3. 8, 9, 10, 11 is nothing. And let me just do these fellers. 8, 12, 15. And that is only a +1 modifier because of the -2 leader. There's no 15, drops to 12. Straight die roll. Oh, look what he got, a 4. Wow, check this out. +3 morale check over here. So +3 morale check on him. He broke, so he is casualty reduced. He becomes a 328, so I gotta find a 328. That is a cursed building, I think. That's the Germans. Bad things have been happening there. It's just Pavlov's nightmare house. Pavlov's house of horror. What have you. 328, okay. And he has desperation morale. Where's desperation morale? Now these guys here, one of them's already a half squad. He is. Let's roll for him next. If he breaks again, he's gone, right? Isn't that correct? Let's +3 morale check. He's gone. Wow. And then this guy could possibly casualty reduce. Yep, he does, and he's reduced to a 328. Wow, clean house there, man. Should just leave these open, huh? 328. So we whittled that down from 3 full squads to now 2 half squads that have desperation morale attached to them. That was awesome. Awesome sauce. And I think that does her for the defensive fire end of things. Does it not? It does. And that brings us to advancing fire. Well, he moved. So what are you saying? He could advance fire at 3? Point blank fire and brings it up to 6. I'll take it. And he's going to get nothing. Guess what he could get? Just guess. Ready? Pin task check. And the guy's pinned. But it's a moot point. I mean, he's... whatever. It's only advancing fire we have. Route phase. Nobody is broken that is adjacent to an enemy unit or in the open hanging out, so I think we're good there. Advance. Ooh. Dare I? I dare. Advance. Oh, hold on. Let's clean up before we advance as the Russians. I may go hog wild here. I may just throw the gauntlet down. Ooh, wait. We got something that could happen here. So, hold on to your horses. He could advance into there and do close combat. Right? Am I wrong? Judge is ruling on that. Let's see here and here. I'm really digging this new setup too. I got this ring light here that, my God, I've been living in the dark ages. Literally, it's been so dark in this house for years since I've lived here, and it's like I finally have light all of a sudden. I mean, there's light, but this is real light, and I got the camera there and a camera there and a real microphone, and it's a hell of a thing. All right, so he's going to advance. Let's do it. Let's do this. That guy's pinned anyway. And what else are we doing? Any other craziness? Oh, crap. He can't. Can you button? No, can't do that either. Alright. We're at least doing this. Okay. And then we have our first close combat will take place. His firepower is halved. Wasn't that triple point blank fire though? So 12 would be halved to 6. And he's already, no, 18. So 3 to 1. Where's my 3 to 1? Got him. And then it's simultaneous, is it not? There's no 1 to 3, so it's 1 to 2, 4 less. German's gone. German is gone. Killed in close combat by the 628 squad. So, I guess I could have rolled for ambush, but I didn't. Again, it's what you elect to, how thick do you want the game to be? You know what I mean? How much do you want to take on as the player? So, also as you'll notice, I didn't use residual firepower. I didn't use fire lanes. I didn't do snipers. I didn't do multi-level building applications. So when he ran in here, technically he should have been on the ground floor and then moved up 1 movement factor per level to the same level that this guy was at and moved in there. But I didn't do that. I didn't do it. I didn't use smoke, not because I didn't want to, not because I wanted to. I just didn't use that. So again, this is an example of how detailed, how you want to play the game. I mean, it's a way to play the game, obviously, but then there's a way that you're comfortable with playing it. It's not a bad thing. It's not wrong. I still got 85-90% of the rules down, so I think I'm happy with that. So here's our recap for this round, and then it's the Germans' turn. Germans keep getting lucky with this building here, which has been whittled down from 3 full squads to 2 half squads. And Russians got lucky over here, knocked out a squad and a leader that had just rallied, that is to say, broke them. And we had a Russian make his dash across the road to here and then advance into here in close combat. A German squad was successful in doing so. Additionally, during that advance phase, we had a flood of Russian squads and the leader start to move into that road in the hopes of hopping in there if they survive fire from this squad and this squad. So it's not as bad as it seems. Assuming that's the case, that they're successful, they should easily be able to make their way to clear out the end here and gain a stone building, which would help with their victory conditions, bearing in mind that they will subject themselves to fire from this building by quite a few, 3 squads and a light machine gun. And then over here, the Russians just are not getting the breaks that they're looking for. So I think I will call it at that. And it would be the Germans' turn otherwise. Will I come back to this and share it with you guys? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But I wanted to get some of this out there and prove to people that just because you don't play this game to the letter of the law does not make you any less of a person. You can still enjoy the thing. It should not intimidate you and keep you away from it. Everybody's welcome. Play it, like I said, with as much rules or as little rules as you like, just as long as you're playing it to the extent that you're getting a feel and flavor for the mechanics that are run by the rules. But I mean, no, you know what I mean. So that was, or is, the Guards Counterattack, a classic. We made it through 1.5 turns, and also wanted to show off this 3D board I did as well. So I have had this sitting around for a while, and year after year it gets a little more warpy, and I thought, I want to get this on camera for posterity's sake before it's completely gone. So there's that as well. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll cut you loose and talk to you next time.